Okay, so let's talk about, actually I'm freaking out to be honest. I graduated in 2002, so please have patience with me. I'm a little nervous to be honest. Okay, so today I'd like to talk about, giving you an overview of dialects in Japan because I think most of you study Japanese, and of course there's some Japanese here. People usually get in touch with the Hyojungo, so which is standard Japanese, but as you travel, Japan is actually a huge variety. I'd like to give you an overview of that. And first I'd like to introduce myself. So as you can see, my name is a long name. I'm Brazilian. So Julio César Pereira da Silva. You can call me Julio. If it's a Spanish speaker, Julio. We have a French there, Julian. If you're German, Julius. Polish, maybe it's Julius. But if you're Japanese, don't try to call me in Spanish because Julio is going to become Furio, which is a bad person. Don't try in Spanish if you're Japanese. Anyway, moving on. Okay. About my background, really, very simply, I have a bachelor's degree from Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, so UFRJ, Universidade Federal do Rio de Janeiro. So I majored in Japanese and Portuguese, and my minor was German. And before I graduated, I went to Okinawa. I studied at Ryukyu Daigaku, so University of the Ryukyus, where I had a scholarship for, it's called Japanese Studies, so I studied Japanese culture, and also studied the Ryukyu or Okinawan dialect. And then I went back to Brazil in '95, so I stayed in Okinawa for 1 year. And then after that, I came to Japan in '98. It's the last time I came. I've been here since, so 21 years. So I did a master's degree at Osaka University in social linguistics and Japanese. And in this time, I had a lot of studying dialectology, so that led me to do this presentation. Okay. So maybe it's interesting to ask why dialects. Because if you studied, I think many people studied Nihongo no Kiso, Minna no Nihongo, lots of textbooks. So I know I've studied Japanese. Why dialects? Okay, I got interested because before I went to, actually, I came to Japan for 3 times with scholarship. First time I got a scholarship from the Japan Foundation. They have a program called Outstanding Students of the Japanese Language. So it's called, I think, as a Kaigai Seiseki Yushu. So they give you a 2-week program, and at this time, the first time I came to Japan, and first I got to Saitama, and from there, I traveled to, oops, okay, let's follow. I went to Hiroshima, and then I went to Miyajima, that beautiful place with lots of deers, the island. Then things got tricky when I got to Kyoto, because I still remember I was trying to get to anybody has been to Kyoto? Do you guys know the Golden Pavilion, Kinkakuji? Then I tried to go there, right? Then I go like, I'm walking down the street. I ask an old lady, so, Kinkakuji wa doko desu ka? Yeah, no problem to there. Then the problem is when she answered, she was like, ano na, kokara na, ikahatte na. What? What's ikaharu? So she started, ikahatte. So it's the first time I got in contact with Kyoto band. This is called the honorific in Kyoto. I'll talk about that later. Haru. Instead of masu, you put haru. Then it's kind of honorific. Why is she saying ikaharu? At the time, I just read the context and I got interested in Kyoto band. And of course, as I said before, I lived in Okinawa. So anybody has been to Okinawa before? They speak a little different, right? So not a little different. They have their own language, which I refuse to call dialect. It's called Uchinaguchi, Okinawan language. Unfortunately, the guy who was going to talk about that didn't come. It's a pity. But anyways, we have the traditional dialect. And even so, they say that they don't speak the language. But when they speak Hyojungo, they have different words, different grammar. And I got interested in that. And okay, so about dialect. Okay, so anybody could help me with the definition of dialect? What does it mean? Anybody? You guys can help me? No?
Seems like a trap.
Yeah, it is indeed. Because, I ask you because, actually, I asked on purpose because we have the maybe linguistic kind of definition, but there's a political thing too. Maybe I'm gonna say it's not what I prepared, but I remember now, like, I studied Mandarin, right? But when you go to China, they say that Cantonese is a dialect of Chinese. If there's any Sino-linguist here, that don't attack me. Just my opinion, but I don't think Cantonese is a dialect of Chinese, right? It's totally different. It's another language. But yeah, in Japan it's the same. So what I feel about dialect is let's talk about standard language. I'd say a deviation, deviation not a good word, a variation of the standard language, and which has a let's say grammar. Let's say a variation of the standard language, different grammar and vocab, and maybe phonetics, right? I'm saying that because in Japan people like to define dialect with maybe a word. For instance, I put the word here, himoji. Anybody know the word himoji? It means hungry in Japan. I think it's Kyushu dialect. But when I lived in Okinawa, they say that too, which means I cannot say that himoji is Okinawan dialect because it's just a word, right? In the same way, I live in Osaka. Anybody know the word shindoi? Shindo. Shindo is very famous, right? At first I thought it came from shinda, but anyway, that's not the point here. So shindoi, if you say it alone, probably it's Osaka Ben, but just the word won't define a dialect, right? So as I say here, I think in order to constitute a dialect, it must have differences in phonetics. Anyway, it must have a different, separate linguistic system. Okay, I'm kind of nervous because I'm going to try to define dialects here. Can I have some? Oh yeah, this helps. So in dialectology in Japan, we have a first basic definition of dialect. So we have here Hondo Hogen. Hondo is mainland Japan, so constituted by the 4 main islands. So we have Kyushu here, then Honshu, Shikoku is here, Shikoku, and then Hokkaido. And maybe what I'm gonna say here is maybe controversial, but they call so we have the mainland Japanese dialect, and then also Ryukyu, so Okinawa. Can you see that the pointer there? No? No. Okay. So basically, we have the mainland Japan here. So Hokkaido, so Honshu, right? Oops. Then Shikoku and Kyushu. So there's a mainland dialect, mainland Japan dialect. And here we have the Ryukyu, which used to be a separate kingdom of Ryukyu. So a kingdom that had a lot of trade with China and other countries. It's very different and separate from Japan. And then basically, I'd say so mainland and Ryukyu. And Ryukyu dialects we have written here. So the northern Ryukyu islands, Ryukyu dialects, which is formed by this is Naha, so the Okinawa mainland where I lived. And you also have, I think it's Amami Oshima, right? Which is actually a part of Kagoshima. Then we have the southern Ryukyu dialect, so which are divided into the Yayama Islands, Yayama Shoto, and Miyako. And another group is called, is it Yonaguni? Yonaguni, right? The maybe southernmost dialect. Okay, so yeah, I have the Ryukyu. Then go back here briefly. So the Kyushu, so Kagoshima, I think it's Nagasaki here, right? Miyazaki, okay. Then Kumamoto, Hakata is here, right? So Fukuoka, Saga, so the Kyushu dialects. And Shikoku, well, for this presentation purpose, I consider Shikoku a part of Kansai, so where I live right now. So we have the Wakayama dialect. So maybe I'm not gonna point properly, but Osaka, Hyogo, Kyoto, around here, Kyoto, Shiga, and a part of Mie. Interestingly, this area is also called Kinki, which is a problem because the first book I used is called Kinki Japanese, and later on they realized it's not a good name. They changed it to Kansai Japanese. There's also a university in Osaka called Kinki University. Oops. And then they changed the name to Kindai because, as you know, they abbreviate the name. Kinki Daigaku, and it became Kindai, Kindai University. But forget it. Then, yeah, we have the Tokaido area, which is a gray area to me. I don't know if they speak Kansai Ben or Kanto Ben, so standard Japanese or Kansai Japanese. Then, yeah, moving on, we have the Kanto area, which is in terms of accent, and yeah, it's basically the standard Japanese. Then we have the Tohoku. Oh, sorry, one thing about Kyushu. What I'm going to be talking today maybe is based mainly on the Nagasaki, because when I was at Osaka University, I went to dialect research we have a field trip for 4 times. I went to Nagasaki, so Tsushima Island. Tsushima is its island here, between Korea and Kyushu. Then second time I went to Amakusa Shoto. It's a place with a lot of Catholic influence. I think it's about here, Amakusa Shoto. So Kyushu, I researched Kumamoto dialect, Nagasaki. And then my third year I went to Shikoku. I went to Tokushima, which is considered almost like Osaka. And before graduating in 2002, is where we're gonna get to now is Tohoku. So it starts with in Fukushima. Fukushima about here. Fukushima, then we have Miyagi Prefecture, Miyagi, Akita is where I want, Yamagata, basically that. But we have a weird guy here, so let me go back here. So this guy here is messed up. Woo! Aomori is messed up because I have a friend here who speaks Tsugaru-ben. It's not Japanese. And back to Kyushu, sorry. So if you guys wanna study crazy dialect, I recommend Tsugaru-ben. Or in Kyushu, we have here Kagoshima. Another thing that I forgot to say why I got interested because when I lived in Okinawa in '94, I took a ferry from Naha to Kagoshima, right? Passing to Amami, Oshima. Then I stayed with the friends for like 5 days. Then, this guy lived with his grandparents, and they're talking, right? I was like, I'm listening for like 5 minutes. And I talked to my friend Kazu-chan. Kazu-chan, ji-chan, ba-chan, inu tenno? So what do your grandparents speak? I didn't understand a word. Kagoshima is crazy. So Kagoshima and Tsugaru-ben, maybe I asked my friend Yoshi, he's a speaker of Tsugaru-ben, totally crazy. In another dialect, if you consider dialect, Okinawa is also very different. Actually, I wanted to talk about it today, but because of time, I cut out the content. But this is a basic division, okay? Okay. Yeah, maybe I don't need to say this because I just showed it to you on the map. This is a reference, just reading, so mainland versus Ryukyu, then mainland dialect. One I forgot is Hachijo dialect. Hachijo is an archipelago of south of Tokyo. Maybe around here. So it's 1,000 kilometers south of Tokyo. Another group that I forgot to quote was Izu dialect, Izu. Also, it's south, I think, of Shizuoka? Yes. South of Shizuoka, so another group. Okay, maybe that's a basic dialect division. I'm gonna skip this because, pretty much said show it on the map. Okay. Okay, so why understand dialects? Isn't it that a waste of time? Well, in my view, because I've been here 21 years, I'd say that maybe help you understand your region better. I mean, to really talk to people because other than listening in school, maybe they talk to you in their dialect. Of course, get along with friends, right? I'll show you later about Osaka-ben because Osaka is a crazy place. And of course, understanding Japanese better because if I have the basis for the standard Japanese and you have some dialect, you start to understand more people. And of course, grasp cultural differences. I'll talk about that in Osaka because there's a cultural side to Osaka-ben, right? Okay. So you have time? Okay. All right, let's go.